Yes, sir. Yes. Your presentation is visible now.
Visual one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, sir. Sure. Very nicely. Thank you. Ghurpade sir, shall I leave, sir? Leave the meeting, please.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
permit me. Thank
Okay,
you,
sir.
sir. Thank you, because I have some important appointments. Thank
Okay,
you,
sir.
sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, so today's lecture is on big data and Python-based machine learning analysis techniques. So, what is big data? So, this is big data and the different analytic technique we use and we take decision. So, basically, why the big data is important in our biological analysis or biochemistry analysis. So we have seen that there are different kinds of gene, or in humans, number of genes are there, and if you perturb the system, the gene expression level changes. So if you want to analyze that gene expression level change, then you have to follow this big data analytic techniques. So at the start, I will show some images which I have collected from the Google, and then we will try to do some practical aspect in the data analysis in the Python. So big data analytic decision. So these are the some of the big data analytic techniques like LumiPy, Microsoft ESD Insights, SkyTree, R programming. So these are the different R programming, Python, then TensorFlow, Hadoop. These systems are used for the big data analytics. So what is big data? The data can be structured like internet data, public data. It can be sensor data. So you are taking the reading of the animal. So humidity reading in the shade, or body temperature reading of the animal. So this animal reading data can be sensor data or animal movement data. Based on that movement data, you can decide whether the particular cow is in stress or not. So this data you can analyze. Public data disease related information. Then structured data means like Excel table data. So you are collecting some parameter, body temperature, milk yield, the estrus, fertility, and then based on that you are predicting fertility. So that is the structured data. Unstructured data means the image data which you predict. So that is unstructured data. So this is a refinement in this one. Then quality, increasing quality of content and decreasing volume of content as we do the analytics. So the purpose of analytics is that we slowly decrease the volume of the content and we come to the conclusion. So structuring and linking, refinement, and then synthesis and enhancement. And after that, one cost reduction, fastest, better decision, and the new product and services. So based on for our animal experimentation, based on the data which we have collected about animal or disease related information, our aim is to get some conclusion. So we are, for example, in clinic you are predicting different parameter, body temperature, pulse rate, and all the state for individual animal. If you collect similar data for thousands and thousands of animal, so based on the collective data, we can get some decision whether if body temperature is this much, which disease that animal can have. So this is the implication of the big data for the health sciences. Or if you are measuring gene expression level after giving the meloxicam or after giving some drug or antibiotics, the expression level change in some epithelium if you are measuring. Based on data, you can make decision which antibiotic is good or which non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs is better. So these implications are there. So the process in the data analysis is to collect the data, clean and integrate the data, and modeling and analysis and business development. So instead of business development, here our objective is to medical decision making. So based on that medical decision making, we try to improve the animal health. So based data, for structure based data, there is a SQL is a programming language basically people use. Here PostgreSQL. So if you are handling big data, the data is called as a warehouse. So data is stored in a warehouse. Sometimes people are referring it to the data lakes, and these are the different tools which you can use. Apache Kafka, Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, IoT, Internet of Things. So under DBT Star College scheme, we have purchased this IoT device. When you return to college, we will be showing this Internet of Things device to you. Then JDBC, Hadoop. Hadoop is the main architecture in which one on single computer it is not possible to analyze the data. So people are analyzing with the MapReduce technique. So they are distributing the data at the various point cluster in the network, and then they are analyzing. So that is Hadoop network. GraphQL, Oracle, CyberTech Migrator, REST interface. So these are the general applications. So if you are customer insight, the behavioral analytics, customer segmentation, affinity analysis, sometimes some bank fraud detection, cyber security analysis, inventory, network analysis. So last lecture we have said studied the network analysis with the Cytoscape. So this R also can be used for this network analysis here. Then for productivity, the sales and productivity, operational efficiency. These are the thing. And this MapReduce we were talking about Hadoop. So the job is distributed. So this is a mapper function, then combiner, shuffle and sort, and then reducer. So this is a mathematical. So basically this is a deep concept, but just for introduction, I'm showing this slide. So this is again external work, how data is transformed and how result can be given to the given out. So input data, split, map, combine, partition. So when we say Hadoop, so Hadoop is a distributed database system. So data is being distributed and then it is analyzed. So data analysis platform, data storage and processing. Kafka is messaging system. Hive. So when you are using Facebook, so your big data is being analyzed instead of Hadoop. They have alternate system. Hive, which complements the Hadoop. So data warehousing is done in Hadoop. Hive. Then Splunk is a log analysis platform. The Talend is a software integration platform. Spark is a real-time processing. So nowadays, instead of Hadoop, people are switching to Spark, in which people want to get real-time data analysis. So Hadoop analyzes standard data. So instead, the Spark it analyzes real-time data. Apache HBase, NoSQL data frame, and the data analysis platform. So this is a big data analysis platform. The advantage is that with one line of coding instead of 100 or 200 lines, the one line of peak programming, it can give the same analysis. So when we say data, it is about volume, validity, variability, venue, vocabulary, vagueness, value, veracity, variety, velocity. So a lot of data is coming at a fast pace. So this is Hadoop ecosystem. So we will try to go fast and come to the practical aspect. So HDFS is a Hadoop distributed file system. Yarn is a cluster resource management. MapReduce is a data processing framework. Then HBase is a columnar store. Then overall, so these are other peak, and these are a part of ecosystem. Plume, Scoop, Zookeeper, Apache, Ambari. So whenever we have some data, so we have some disease data, so different disease parameter we have. So we have age of the animal, sex of the animal, the diet, what it has eaten, so some gene expression level, and based on that we want to predict whether that animal will have some kidney dysfunction or not, or kidney stone animal will have kidney stone, or liver cirrhosis or not. If you want to analyze this data, you have different machine learning technique like supervised technique, machine learning technique, unsupervised machine learning technique, semi-supervised technique, reinforcement learning, evolutionary learning, and deep learning. So these are supervised learning means the data has a structure, unsupervised learning means data don't have structure, and deep learning means neural network analysis based. So whenever we have data, so this is a, for example, this is a X value and this is Y value. So this is the age of the animal, and this is the how many animal will get disease. Okay, so if you are considering the X as a age of the animal and Y as a age of the animal, and this is the probability. So you can get the line like this. So very simple linear algebra. Based on this line, you can predict the estimated parameter yi. So the equation of the line is y is equal to mx plus c. So based on this one, so y0 is estimated predicted value, yi. B0 is a estimate of regression intercept. So this is a B0 intercept. Estimate of regression slope. So how much is the slope, and this is the independent variables and error rate. So based on this data, you can analyze your data. So when you have statistic course, when you are analyzing the different group parameters with ANOVA, so in this case, you are analyzing this. Your underlying mathematics is this linear regression. So, and these are different machine learning model, the classification model. So based on disease parameter, age, then different health parameter, we can see classify whether that animal will be in the right side or left side of this classification, either it will be diseased or not diseased. Clustering, so different age animal we can cluster together, and based on this clustering method, we know that whether this particular animal will have disease or not. And this is a regression model. From data set, we will determine what is the probability of the disease. So basically the machine learning techniques used in Python. So Python is basically a programming language in which we are trying to analyze data today. So this is regression, anomaly detection, classification, clustering. This can be done in Python. So coming to our biological patient, we are already discussing the disease identification can be done. Then personalized medicine. So nowadays we are giving currently we are giving drug to all people. So drug is being tested, clinical trial is being done, and same drug is being given to all people. But individual people or individual animal may have different genetic makeup. It may respond to drug or it may not respond to drug. So based on this, this is a personalized medicinal treatment which can be given. Likewise, drug and drug discovery, if you want to do for this drug discovery also, this machine learning technique is useful. The smart health record. So if you are maintaining the health record electronically, electronic medical record, which can be useful for future generation or future doctors. So if we are maintaining animal, that is why we always maintain record in our clinic, veterinary clinic, because this record, based on this record, we can analyze that data and we can predict the health of the animal which may come to our clinic. So that is a smart health record. Medical imaging, so this NMR imaging, X-ray imaging data, so this data imaging prediction can be done. So which disease is there, this can be done with the computer. Disease prediction, we talk about heart disease, kidney disease or liver disease of animals, so this can be predicted with the machine learning techniques. So basically, this is a living cell. So this is our cell, and this is a genome, genome product and interaction. So these are different products, and these are interacting with our DNA, and we are getting some products here. So this is biologist. He is analyzing this data, the experimental measurements, cell variables, and then DNA sequences. So based on experimental measurements, he is taking different experimental measures. But data scientist. The data will go to data scientist, he will go apply computational model. So computational models means he will apply either linear regression, k-nearest neighbor, SVM, singular vector decomposition, or classification, decision tree. So different types of model when we talk about statistical model. So these are different models. Computational model we have to apply as a statistical model. And then based on that model, we can predict, okay, this DNA has mutation here, it will be risky. If this DNA doesn't have mutation here, it will be the healthy. So based, this is how this machine learning techniques can be used for the predicting the, so patient genome can give the information about the probability of disease in particular animal. So this is the, this data can be used for feedback or validation. So basically, if you have if animal have mutation at a particular point in the genome, based on their data, we can predict whether animal will have particular disease risk or not. So this is a quite interesting image. So basically, this is a robot, and he's trying to predict the brain pattern. So you have considered it as a MRI image. So whether brain has a tumor or not, he's trying to predict. So basically, the machine learning means that machine is trying to predict the data. So currently, what we have is a X-ray specialist or NMR specialist, or if you are surgeon, you are only predicting the X-ray data. So if you are feeding a lot of X-ray data to the machine, means computer, the computer itself can give the prediction whether it will have tumor or not. So this kinds of data is coming under the machine learning. So this is the example we have. So this example we are going to try as a basic example. So we have car name. So we have so online sources only I have taken some tutorial point. So this is a car name: BMW, Volvo, Ford, PV. So these are different car names. These are the color of the car, how old is the car, age, what is speed of the car, whether it is auto passing or not. So you can, if you have two parameters, you can predict whether this will auto pass or not. So likewise, so we have this tutorial points we are trying to use, right? So here, this is our data set. So we will quickly try to learn something about this data set. So we have different car ages and different speed and auto pass or not. Okay, so we have this Anaconda Navigator, and from this Anaconda Navigator, so if you install this Anaconda Navigator and if you launch this notebook, so this notebook will allow us to write the Python code. So this is, so the page like this will open. So if you click this Anaconda, if you open this Anaconda under your computer and if you launch it, so this window will open. Okay, so this window is opening. Now let's try to open new notebook. So if you go to new Python 3, so this Python notebook is opening. So we want to analyze data. Okay, these software and programs are basically for analyzing data. So this notebook we have opened. So let's now go to our data point. So data can be numerical, categorical, or ordinal. So I am not dealing much. I'm not trying to explain much about this numerical, categorical, or ordinal data, because you are already well familiar. You have course in it. So as a new set, so we have speed of the car. So this parameter we have seen here. This is the speed of our car. Okay. So this is speed of our car. So if you are trying to put it in the Python, so how you can put it? Either you can copy paste it, but if you are manually want to type, so you have to type speed equal to close parenthesis 99, comma 86, comma 87. So these are different speed of the car speed. So anything you want to analyze, you have to have that data in your data sheets. So 94, so again 78, again 77, 85, 86. So if you control enter, so now that data is, if you shift enter, so the next row will come. So this is a Python notebook. So you can give name here. For example, you can give name machine learning techniques or data analysis. Okay. So if you are renaming it, you can see here you have renamed it. You can give some information like star speed information So this will be, this line should not get executed. Okay, so if you are typing the hashes, this line will get executed. So currently I am closing the presentation. So we are trying to analyze this data. So you want to calculate mean. So these are different. These are 1986, 87. These are different data point, and these are total 13 data point. If you want to calculate mean, you divide it by 13. So let's see whether it is giving result. So it is 89.7. So this is a mean. So total data point divided by number of data points. So this we can get here. So this is instead of following, we may not remember what is this 13. So instead of this, what we can do, you can do the we can import. Okay, so import numpy is a package, data package which you have to import. So this is a numpy. Then speed of the car. So this speed of the car we have to type here. So speed of the car. So I'm double pasting it just to be easy for you to see. Then I have imported this numpy. This is a library, Python library for analyzing this data. We want to analyze the average mean of the different car speeds. So this is a car speed, and now this is a x is equal to numpy dot mean speed. And now if you print x, it should give the mean speed. So this is how we have got the mean speed for this car. So we have this data. We have this data, car speed, different car, BMW, Volvo car, Tesla car, Toyota car, and different speed we have. We want to get the mean speed. If you are analyzing data like this, import numpy cars. If you are typing data in the array format, numpy dot mean. So mean is a method. So dot mean method speed. So you will get the speed of the car. So basically, the talking about this one is a car speed. It can be a pulse rate of the animal. So the animal, these are different animal sample, cow 1, cow 2, cow 3, and these are different pulse rate. And you are calculating the pulse rate of the animal, and now you want to know what is the mean pulse rate. So based on these similar techniques, you can analyze the pulse rate of the animal. So median is the middle value. So if you arrange a value in the ascending order, 87 is a middle value. So this also we can get with this same thing. Instead of mean, here we mention median, and let's see 87. So this 87 value is the median. So likewise, we can analyze the mode. Mode is the most repeating value 86. So this 86 value also we can get. So for this one we need a SciPy. So let's see. So this is a so from SciPy. So previously we have talked about NumPy. This was a Python library. Likewise, this is a SciPy is the Python library. We want to import the module stats, and now we want to give the speed. So what speed you want? What statistics? So speed we have mentioned here. Then stats. We are using this stats now. Stats dot mode. We want to calculate the mode, means most repeating value from the speed. So let's see whether it is giving. Mode array. So it should give 86. So 86. Okay, mode array 86. So it is giving count how many time it is repeating 3 times. So it is showing that our value, this value, it has 86 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So 86 is the 3 times. So that is mode is equal to array in bracket 86, and count of the array is a 3. So these things we have with us. So under your statistic course, you are calculating the standard deviation. Standard deviation is how much spread is the data from the mean. So if you want to calculate that one, you have this formula here. So this is a programming line again. So I have zoomed in to let you see easily. So you have to import the NumPy module. Then you have to put speed is equal to different value of the speed. Then x is equal to numpy.std. std means standard deviation. So NumPy module you are using here. Dot standard deviation method you are trying to apply on the speed data. So this method you are applying and you are printing the standard deviation now. So let's see, it is standard deviation is the 0.9. So this 0.9 is the standard deviation for this data. So okay. So this data, if you are calculating speed, this speed, or if you consider it as a pulse rate, and then you can calculate the how much data varies from the mean. So that is by the standard deviation. So next, if you are calculating the variance, so if you take the square root of variance, that is a standard deviation, but here you are calculating separately. So how to calculate? You can either fast or to cover fast, we are copy pasting, otherwise we have to type. So the import NumPy is a Python module. The speed, what is the speed of the car? So 32, 11, 111, 133, or you can consider different pulse rate. If an animal has a different pulse rate like this in this array, so that is, instead of speed, it will be the pulse rate. So let's make it pulse rate. And then we have x is equal to NumPy var, and here you have to write the pulse rate, then it will give similar value. Okay, so basically the data, which data frame we are analyzing, it is just for understanding. So if you are typing pulse rate in this array, you can analyze the variance of that pulse rate. So this one is the 1432.2. This is the variance of that data. So percentile. So many times under your result percentile will come. So how many people are under how marks under 75%, likewise information. So if you have data like this, so we have data like this. So we have NumPy module age. These are the different age of the students. So 5-year student, 31-year student, 80-year student, and now we want to calculate age. Some student, 75% percentile student of particular age. Then we can calculate that. Okay. So 43 student, 43. It means that 75 people percent of the people are 43 or younger. So if you are getting the answer age, 75% of the people, so 43 people are such that the people are 43 or younger. 75% of the people are 43 or younger. So likewise, information you can get, instead of 75, you can type 90%. So let's try to type 90%. So it is a 61. So instead of this one, you can align, meaning that 90% of the people are 61 or above. So likewise, you can analyze. So if it is 75 means the, so if you import the NumPy ages, you put NumPy dot percentile. You are calculating the percentile age and 75. Against this age, you want to calculate 75% percentile of people who have coming in this range. So the answer is 43. It means that 75% of the people are 43 or younger. Likewise, you can prepare the random data. So how to prepare the random data for this one? You are importing the NumPy. This x is equal to NumPy dot random dot uniform. So x is equal to NumPy. So this Python library you are typing here. Then dot random number you want. The uniform is a distribution dot uniform. So these are different parameter of this distribution: 0, 5.0, 250. So if you print it, so it should give the 250 numbers. 250 numbers within this given parameter values. So these are different random numbers we have generated with this NumPy library. So next, so this random values, it gives very less information. So that is why we try to analyze data in the graphical format. So let's use the histogram. So if you are trying to use the histogram, so you have to import it. So import NumPy, this NumPy library you are importing. Next, matplotlib. So this matplotlib is another Python library. You are importing matplotlib. Which function you are importing? Pyplot dot pyplot. So that is why under pyplot, let us import NumPy first. NumPy, then import matplotlib dot pyplot. So as a PLT, so as a PLT we have imported it. So we want to generate the random number. So like this, here we have generated this random number. Same command we are copying. Okay. So here we are copying this command, or we can type NumPy dot random dot uniform, and the parameter for this uniform distribution 0.0, comma 5.0. How many values do we want? 250. So this we have typed here. Now we want to plot the histogram, PLT. So we have imported matplotlib.pyplot as a PLT. So this PLT dot hist, and we calculate x comma 5. So it has shown this histogram. And now PLT dot show to do, it will show this histogram. So basically, this command at a time you can copy paste, and it will give this histograms. Okay, so it is just for learning purpose. What is the available machine learning techniques or artificial intelligence techniques, and how people analyze the data. So this is a histogram. So basically histogram. So 50 here means 52 values are between 0 and 1. So these are the 0 and 1. So between 0 and 0, 52 values are there. Between 1 and 2, some 48 values are there. So between 2 and 3, some 49 values are there. So this is the meaning of the histogram. So this is a uniform distribution. So the distribution is uniform, means it is a level of wide. So most of times data follow the normal distribution. Normal distribution is a like curve. So we have under our biochemistry curve, we have effect of temperature on the enzyme activity. So if you are taking the temperature on the x-axis and the enzyme activity on the y-axis, so the enzyme activity follows the bell-shaped curve. So this is a bell-shaped curve. Okay. So let us see how this bell-shaped curve is being generated. So this is a normal distribution. Likewise, for simple example, if you have class of the students, different marks of the student and different number of the student, you will observe that student has a marks curve as a normal distribution. So this is the normal distribution for the student, or you can say this is our x-axis is our pH at which enzyme is kept, and y-axis is the enzyme activity. So it follows the bell-shaped curve. So how to generate this one? You import NumPy, import matplotlib.pyplot as a PLT. Then we are expecting here normal distribution. So this is just imaginary data. So x is equal to numpy.random. So randomly we are generating data dot normal. So normal distribution. This is normal distribution. So we have typed here normal. So phi value we have typed here. So let us see, this phi is a mean value and one is a standard deviation. Phi means the data centers at the phi. So this is a data center at the phi, and one is a this standard deviation. So how much is the standard deviation of this data? So likewise this one. So if you do the PLT dot hist stand for histogram. So that is a PLT dot hist under bracket x comma 100. So it will clear the 100 values. So this is the histogram. So let us try to make another, instead of 100, let's try to keep 10. So this basically this histograms only 10 if you are taking, so it will look like this. Still it is a normal distribution, but it looks different if you are taking so only 5 values. So let's see how it is looking. So how data is looking. So data is looking like this. Okay, so basically we want 100 values, and like this normal distribution, so we have to give more size of this one. So that is why the 100 bars. So these are the different bars, how many bars you want based on this one. So next we have is a scatter plot. So let's say these are the different one x-axis parameter and y-axis parameter, and how to analyze it. So this is a height of the animal. So x-axis is the height of the animal, and y-axis is the weight of the animal. For your purpose, our purpose, if this is our data, so can we get some information? If you have height of the animal, can we predict the weight of the animal? So if you want to do that, so you have this this code. So let's see what it says. So import.matplotlib.pyplot as a PLT. So this command already we saw. We are importing pyplot. So x-axis we are seeing this. This is our weight data. So for example, this is a 578 is a weight in kilogram, and y this is height in inches. For example, inches of the animal. So this is just imaginary, we are saying, not actual animal heights, but this x-axis is a weight and y-axis is a height. So if you do the scatter plot, it will appear like this. So this is the x-axis where weight of the animal, height of the animal. So if animal weight is a 2, height is this one. So this has some relationship. So not actual relationship, actually how it is to form, but it shows the negative relationship. So in this case, the data what we have here is a different data. Just for explanation purpose, we are using height and weight as a marker for this data. So let's see. Let's generate imaginary data. Let's see if it works. So this is a NumPy matplotlib.pyplot as a PLT. Let's generate the random data, which has a x-axis data should have mean at 5 and standard deviation 1, and it should have the 1000 data points. Y, that is the weight data, it should be random, numpy.random, and it should be normal distribution, and it should have the mean at the 10 and the standard deviation at the 2 and the 1000 data points. So let's generate a scatter plot. So this generates a scatter plot. So x-axis, x values, it has a mean at 5. So we can see, if you see 2, 3, 4, 5, at 5 number, this has a very high values because the data follows the normal distribution. So at the 5, we have given here 5, so it is at 5. Let's see, we change it to the 7. So this distribution, it will change to the 7. Now at the 7, it has a higher values. If you change it to the 20, so now at the 20, this is higher, but we want to keep it at the 5. So this is our data. So at the PIU, this x-axis values PIU are higher at this PIU. It has a low spread in the x-axis, but if you see the y-axis, the value standard deviation mean is the 10. So at the 10, very high values are there, and the variation is quite 2 is quite high. If you increase the variation here, instead of 2, we increase the 6. You can see the value have spread now. It is still at 4, but the axis has shifted -10 to 30. So let's keep 2 only. So now the value of x-axis constituted around the 2. So likewise, this data is being analyzed. So linear regression. So whenever we have data like this, we want to fit a line. We want to see this is x-axis is the weight of the animal, y-axis is the height of the animal. Based on the weight, we want to predict height of the animal. Or you consider this is x-axis as a height of the animal and y-axis is weight. You have a height of the animal and you want to predict the weight, because weight is very hard to calculate. We need actual weighing balance or some mathematical techniques for the weight calculation. So we have height on the x-axis, we want to calculate the weight. So for that purpose, this is a linear regression. You have to hit a line like this, and based on that line, you have to analyze if you have weight of the animal, how much will be the height of the animal. So this is again my import matplotlib.pyplot as a PLT, different x values, different y values, and we can generate the scatter plot. So this is our scatter plot. Now we want to draw the line. So for drawing the line, we have different package called as a SkyPy. So this is our package. So import matplotlib.pyplot as a PLT, and from SkyPy we import as a stats. So this one we import. So x is equal to this one. This is a x is a, we say this is a height of the animal. This is a weight of the animal, and this is a different parameter. Slope, what will be the slope of the line, what will be the intercept, where it will touch on the y-axis, r, what will be the relationship. So whenever we try to calculate the height and weight as a scatter plot, we want something relation. If relation is the 0, there is no point in calculating these parameters. So here in our purpose, if relation is 1 or -1, it is very good, or a value between 0 and 1 is also good, or 0 and -1 is also good. It shows that there is some relationship. But if it is 0, it doesn't have any meaning to calculate this all this linear regression and other parameter. Means if this r value is a 0, there is no point in taking the height of the animal to calculate the weight. P is a p value. Standard error is equal to stats.lin regress x comma y, and we are defining here some function. So this is a programming aspect. So we define my function in bracket x semicolon, and then return the slope multiplied by x-axis plus intercept. So my model is equal to list under bracket map, and this function we are using, we want to map all this function to all values of x. So map my function x, and plt.scatter is another. So for generating scatter plot, plt.plot x comma my plot, and plt.show. So let's see what it is showing. So it is showing. So previously this was showing like this. Now it shows some relationship. So as x increases, y decreases. So it is showing somewhat inverse relationship. As a height increases, the weight decreases. So this is a inverse relationship. Though it is not true in our biological context, height increases, weight should increase. But it is a different data. It is a car data set. We are explaining it in the context of our biological data. So as one thing increases, other thing decreases. Okay, so this has a lower value, but if you go at a lower value, it has a higher value. As it goes on higher, these other values become lower y-axis. So this is there. So that this we call as a linear regression. And can we predict any value? So based on linear regression, so for example, uh, you want to calculate some relationship. So R is for relationship. You want to calculate how much is the relationship. So you can calculate it with this example. So the relationship is a negative. So one value increases, other value decreases. So that is why the sign is minus 0.75. So it increases that there is a negative relationship between the height and weight. Though it is not true in biological context or whatever data this is, or between x and y axis, there is a negative correlation relationship. So we want to predict speed of the car, which is 10-year-old. So let us see. This is a car data, and this is a. Can you predict the speed of the car? So this is the x-axis, y-axis, and if you type all functions previously, slope, comma, intercept, r, p, standard error, then define the speed. The speed can be calculated like this. So this is a speed. So if you give my function under bracket 10, the speed of the car. So if you have 10-year-old car, so you can x value, if you have x is a 10-year value, this is a year value, and this is a speed value. Basically, the data we are seeing here, this is the age of the car, and this is the speed of the car. Okay, so if you have age 5, 10, 7, you are feeding this data, you are using this one, and you want to predict the speed of the 10-year-old car. This data doesn't have 10-year-old car, but new data you want to predict. So based on this one, 10 means it should power something around 85. So that is why it is seeing 85.5. So if you have new data, you can predict it. So you have calculated, for example, height of the different animal, and based on that height, you have predicted the weight of the animal. Now somebody comes to us and it says that this animal has particular height, and we don't have data for this. Based on available data, you can put it in the available data, and you can analyze the data, and you can tell the based on linear regression techniques that this is the weight of the animal. So that is why we are using this linear regression techniques. So this is predicting the future values. So even if you don't have we know the value, we can predict the future value. And the slope PPT is like this. So no relationship. R value is 0. So x and y. If slope is 0, it means that no use in predicting this data, or otherwise we have to fit some other model. So different. That is why we have different models like polynomial regression. So for example, this is our data. Again, this is a car data. Different our car is passing through the toll gate, and now if you want to analyze this data, so it's like this. So, let us see if you polynomial regression or not. So x-axis, the time of the day, 0 to 24 hours, and speed at which it is passing. So at the 0 hour, it is passing like this, and this pattern. So this is a polynomial regression pattern. So again, import matplotlib dot pyplot as a PLT, and x values as a hour of the day we are taking, y values as a speed of the car we are taking, and based on that PLT dot scatterplot we have generated. For generating scatterplot, we have to type x comma y in the under the bracket, and then PLT dot show bracket, open bracket, close bracket. We have to do this one. So this is there. So let's see whether it is generating polynomial plot. So this line has been generated. Okay, so the above code is same. If you want to generate the polynomial feed, you have to do the numpy dot poly 1d. So poly 1d under bracket numpy poly feed x y x comma y comma 3. So different parameter polynomial. So there are different polynomial feed, second degree feeds, third degree feed. So based on power of the x, we have polynomial feed. So this data you can do. So my line numpy dot line space 1 comma 22 comma 100. So this you line character, you will get the PLT dot scatter x comma y. So this line now it is not straight; it is bending down and it is again connecting. So this type of the model in the statistic we call as a polynomial model. So this is also a part of the machine learning techniques. So we have seen the regression techniques, linear regression. This is a polynomial technique. So PLT dot plot my line dot my model. So this my line we are fitting to the my model under this open and close bracket my line PLT dot show. So this thing we can apply here, and you can see whether there is a r square value. So whenever we see the data, we are interested in r square value. That is whether there is some relationship or not. So x value and y value, whether car passing time and car speed, so it has some value or not. So it is a positive value, 0.94. So it has value. So if you want to calculate r value, r square value, import numpy from sklearn.matrix, import r square, r square, r2 underscore. So whenever you are writing the name continuously, underscore you have to do. R2 underscore this one, the time of the car and the speed of the car. Then my model, the model we are fitting to this data is the numpy dot poly1d, that is a polynomial model, numpy dot polyfit under bracket x comma y comma 3. So this model we have fitted to this data, and we want to calculate the r square value. What is the relationship? So relationship, it has a positive relationship. So for this one, print r2 underscore. So import r2 you have done here. You have typed it here. R2 underscore score. Then y, we are predicting y based on this model value. My model x. So my model value of x we have fitted here. So that is a positive relationship. Positive r square value. So likewise, this polynomial regression is there, and based on polynomial regression, you can predict the future also. So if polynomial line comes like this, so that is a bad fit. So line different value you are giving here, so that is bad fit. So polynomial should have some positive or negative value. Or repeat this polynomial equation similarly. So instead of this one, you are fitting the value and it is giving the 0.0009. So it is positive value but still very less. So this value doesn't have much meaning. So you cannot use this polynomial regression model. You may try for another model analysis, but this doesn't work. So we will try to explain here only now. This time remain. So this is a multiple regression. So we have different car, Toyota car, Skoda car, different car model, car volume, this weight of the car and carbon dioxide emission. So whether it is causing some climate change or environmental CO2 emission, more CO2 emission, we want to calculate based on this data table. So if you want to calculate here, you have to import the Panda. Then this is a cars.csv is a data set. If you want to import as a data frame, panda.read underscore csv under bracket cars.csv. Then x-axis we want to calculate weight and volume based on weight and volume. So multiple regression means we are analyzing more parameters instead of only weight parameter predicting y CO2. We are using volume and weight for predicting the CO2. So that is a multiple regression. So here we are preparing the data frame of x as a weight and comma volume, and y is our intended response variable df. Under bracket we are writing the CO2 from sklearn. This is a Python package. We want to import the linear model, and then regression gr regression linear dot underscore model comma linear regression. We want to fit this linear regression to this x and y values. So capital X and small y values we want to predict. And now we have to predict the CO2 emission of the car, which is a 2,300 kilogram and volume is a 1,300 square centimeter. So if you want to predict like this, so we have regr predict 2,300 comma 1,300. So this you can predict. So if you are importing it like this, here. So here we have imported Panda, sklearn, linear model we have imported. So this is our data. This is X value, Y value, data frame we are predicting. Then model, regression model we have used the linear regression feed X and Y we are doing here. And based on weight and volume, we want to predict the CO2 emission. So can we predict the CO2 emission? So the result is here. So this is a 107. So if car weight is like this, so we can predict based on this large data set what will be the CO2 emission. So CO2 emission. So in our case, if this is the age of the animal and this is the weight of the animal, age of the animal, weight of the animal, and this is just instead of CO2, if you are taking the milk yield of the animal, if you are putting this parameter in our multiple regression, so based on this Python machine learning technique, you can predict the how much milk that animal will give based on different parameters. So that is the meaning of this term. So coefficients, so weight and volume has a certain coefficient. We can calculate it. That is a 0.7007, 0.007. So if you import the pandas, so coefficient means at what value it is starting. So this is a panda. So this is X value, data frame, weight, comma, volume, and response variable. Linear regression model we are using. We are getting linear regression feed, and we are calculating the regression coefficient here. So based on if you calculate here, weight coefficient comes this, volume coefficient comes this. Means so what this coefficient tells us is that if weight increase by 1 kilo, this CO2 emission will increase by the this amount of grams. Or if you volume increase by 1 cubic centimeter, the CO2 emission will increase by this one. Or in our biological context, if weight increases, milk increases, milk yield will increase by this gram. If height increases, then milk yield will increase by this gram. So this is our biological context of same data. So based on this one, if you have different values, so weight range from different range from 230 to 330, you can calculate what will be the CO2 emission or what will be the milk yield in case of our biological data. So this is the data analysis concept, multiple regression. So scale. So when we say this is a car data model, volume, weight, and CO2, the volume data cannot compare with the scale. Weight, comparing 790 weight with the 1160 weight is reasonable. But if you are comparing 790 with the 1 liter of volume, that is not nonsensical. So for that purpose, you have to standardize the data, and there is some standardization technique like y is equal to x minus mu divided by es, where es is a new value, x is the original value, mean value. We have to calculate, reduce the mean value from the original value and divide it by standard mean, so it becomes standardized. So that is a scaling. So that is a scale. So this scaling we can apply. We can apply scale to our data. So this is import Q2 this thing in our calculation. So import pandas, sklearn, import linear model. From sklearn pre-processing, we have to pre-process our data because we want to calculate our CO2 emission based on volume and weight, or our animal milk yield based on the weight and height. And these are weight and height are the different parameters. So we have to standardize it. So how to standardize it? So import pandas from sklearn, import the linear model, and from sklearn.preprocessing, import standard scaler. So the standard scaler function we have to import. So this will standardize the data. So scale is equal to standard scalars, open bracket, close bracket, and this is the data pandas.read underscore here CSV. CSV is comma separated values under bracket cars2.csv. If you put it, so here data frame is there. So X is a data frame based on volume, weight, and volume. We have to transform this data. So scale fit. So scale X we have to scale dot feed underscore transform the x and print the scale x. So all this volume, weight and volume data will become standardized. So now it looks quite a closer. -1, -5. Here values look very different. 1.5 and 1,112. So here value has been standardized. Now you can use it for the comparison or predictor. So how to use it for comparison? So if you want to predict CO2 emission of 1.3 liter car from this weight, so we have to use it like this. So you transform it, scale it, and then scale transform different weight and volume data you put it, then predict the CO2 scale 0. So here you can predict the information. So this information you will get here. So basically the purpose of this one is that machine learning technique is that if you have prior information, based on prior information, you will get the some knowledge about new data. So let us see, train and test is an important concept in this one. In this one, we have some data. So this is our data. Import NumPy Python library. Import matplotlib.pyplot as a PLT. Now we are generating the NumPy random seed. We want to keep it fixed, so we type .seed. X is equal to NumPy.random normal. 3 standard deviation, 3 at mean 3, 1 standard deviation, and 100 values. So this will be the 100 values on x-axis and 100 values on the y-axis. And y-axis value is at mean 150. So this is 150. The standard deviation is higher, 40, and values are 100 divided by x. So this plot we have got here. So this is our data. You can split that data into training and test rate. So what is splitting? So if you want to calculate this data, if you want to calculate, so if you want to get some information, you have to put split it into the 80% original data as a training set and 20% as a test set. So based on this training test split we have to do, and then scatter plot of the training we can test we can predict based on if you train the model on the training set. So this is the same concept, R square, this one. And one more thing which is important is the decision tree. So if you have some heart disease parameter, so blood pressure, then condition of the left wall, condition of the right wall, then again respiration rate. So cholesterol, blood biochemistry, cholesterol level, HDL level, LDL level. Likewise, if you can predict whether animal will have the heart attack or not. So this data is a decision tree. So for this one, you use import pandas, the sklearn. So just this last one we will end. So we import the panda library, sklearn, import the tree, import the py.plus, and then from sky sklearn.trees, import the decision tree classifiers. So you want to decide based if one value is there, how many people will have heart disease or not. So this we can prepare do with this decision tree. So this is our decision tree. We have to code sometimes. This is numerical. This is word values. We have to code is 0, 1. Likewise, this is the coding of the values. So that's it for machine learning and information. So